Hey everyone, Andrig with Andrig's Aircooled technology. Wanted to show you progress on the new cooling flaps that are fixed position. So here's some original ones. Don't know how well you can see that. And I have my prototypes actually installed in the OEM fan shroud right here. Hopefully you can see that pretty good right here. This is this side. This is this side. They fit perfectly. The angles are all correct. It goes in with regular screws. I didn't bother welding the nuts in place on this one. Just get it fitted. Because I'm like, hey, it worked on the one side and it's all lined up on the other side as well. So it went together pretty well. Took me a little bit of practice to kind of dial in the welder to put these together well, but it didn't really take very long. So these, they fit beautifully in the OEM shroud. As you can see, they're fixed position. They're basically identical to these with the exception of it doesn't have this front part right here on the very outside. Same with this. I eliminated that. Reason I did that is they actually eliminated that portion in Mexico in the later years anyway. And actually, when you kind of think, it just creates less restriction right here at the cylinder head anyway to not have that. So generally speaking, I think this will actually be a little bit better in terms of airflow to your cylinder head versus these original ones. And these are original from 1973 that actually were in this shroud on a 73 Beetle, which is kind of in the background over here. Looking really good. So later today I'll probably be actually ordering up the production run of these. It'll take a bit of time, but actually with Send Cut Send is who I'm using actually to cut these parts. They actually turn things around pretty quickly. This will be the first time that I've done some serious volume other than just onesie twosies, so we'll see how long it takes. But I'll let everybody know exactly kind of what we're facing in terms of that. And just want to show you one other thing. Let's see if I can move the camera where you can see it. Well, you see right there the blue behind the chair. This is my sheet metal brake right here. This is what we're using, and you can see I've got experiments in terms of bends and stuff. And what I've done here to create the bends in here is one 90-degree bend. There's which that's the tool that's on here now is a 90-degree. There's one 3-degree bend, and there's one 12-degree bend in the for the flaps to get them in the right position and be facing the right directions and everything. And so I got this sheet metal brake, very simple, small one, because all we're doing here is this is the flaps are 22 gauge steel, so don't need anything super fancy. But then these tools here that I designed, essentially, if you kind of, as you bend up, let me put this down on. As you bend up, the tool stops the bend at the appropriate degree, so you get the same bend every single time. So I had to do that, for the assembly process for this. They worked really well, and basically got the bends perfectly where they needed to be on those prototypes. No issues at all, and worked really good. So I wanted to show you that just to let you know kind of how I'm doing some of this stuff in the shop, and that's how we'll put them together. So we'll probably bend everything. I did learn that I should have welded the nuts in place on the sheet metal before I did the flaps and welded it all together. That way, a lot more room to work in terms of with the welder getting in there. So we'll definitely do that. We'll weld nuts first. We'll do all the bends, then we'll put them together, weld them together, and they'll be ready to go. I am debating whether or not to coat these with zinc. That's another thing. That's one other waiting thing I'll have to figure out. There's a local company that does zinc plating. That'll keep them from rusting. They could be powder coated as well, but if they're zinc plated, then you could powder coat them afterwards. Wouldn't matter. Or I might blue them, which will also kind of create a black oxide finish on these things. And let me know in the comments if you have a preference for that. I mean, obviously they're kind of hidden away; you're not going to see them. So, and if you powder coat them, you should use a powder coat with a zinc in it to prevent rust anyway. So if I zinc plate them, we'll see which one's cheaper to do and turn around. I have and turnaround time. I have a local shop that I've done powder coating with for a long time, and they usually do a very good job of turning things around quickly. So it might be powder coated, it might be blued, which is just a cold chemical wash that you put on them, rinse them off, they turn black. I'm using that actually on the new mounting system for a lightweight cooling fan anyway, so I might just do that. Just need to buy a little bit more of the chemical and do that. We'll see. But that's kind of last decision, but they fit. Everything's in the right place. They all line up with the holes. One final thing, if you're using an aftermarket shroud, I do have templates to put these holes in place. So when you have an aftermarket shroud that wasn't ever intended to have these flaps in them because they just didn't put that in the design. Not really sure why they didn't, but because they're really important to have in there for proper cooling of the air direction. But there's templates to put these holes. I also discovered that down here, right here, you kind of see there's a nice little gap right there, this spot. And the aftermarket shrouds, they made that much longer, and it actually interferes with the flaps. But I have a template there to how to cut that back properly so the flaps go in and you have the right dimensions right here. And then these are in the right place. So those are all ready, but I got to test them on a shroud. I have a shroud that I'm going to drill the holes in and make sure everything lines up. And as long as that works, we'll be ready to go with that. And those templates will be kind of an option that you can pick off the website when you order, so that you'll just say OEM shroud or aftermarket shroud, and then it'll either come with the templates or not come with the templates, depending on what you pick. Probably won't change the price any. Probably just leave it as one price whether you get the templates or not. But if you don't need them, why ship them to you and waste the material? So that's kind of where we are, and I really appreciate you guys' feedback on this idea, and that you kind of really like the idea, and we're almost there. We're really close. So production run on all the steel parts. One test of the templates that I've got to do, which I'll probably do tomorrow. Now that I know it screws in properly and everything, I'll just take these out and test it with the templates, put the holes, make sure everything lines up. And as long as it does, we'll be good shape. If not, I might have to make a little adjustment, but I can't imagine it won't be very minor, considering how well these just fit, just right off the bat. So the templates, should be pretty straightforward to use. And I'll try to put together an installation video as well for everyone, especially if you're using the templates, how to use the templates properly to drill the holes in the right spots so that it fits in the right area. The thing I found when I was creating the templates is this distance on the OEM shroud and the distance on the aftermarket shrouds is 3 millimeters different. So the OEM shroud or the aftermarket shrouds are slightly narrower. That 3 millimeters doesn't seem like much, but it actually matters in terms of where these flaps are in relation to where the fins are on the cylinder head and the cylinders, where this air is supposed to go. So that might be the only thing that causes a little bit of an adjustment that I have to make on the templates, but I already kind of have that factored in terms of how I did the templates. So 1.5 millimeters on each side adjustment, and I expect that they'll work just fine. If there's adjustment, it's going to be really minor. So thanks again. Appreciate all the business and appreciate the feedback on this idea. It's coming to life, almost there, and we'll have a new product for you coming soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.